like I was saying, I was hearing these people talking about being teacher. I didn't know what they were pinning me as if this guy, because apparently this guy, as an eighth grader teacher, he was doing things. He was staring at kids and putting his hands in his pocket. He was grabbing them and touching them inappropriately. And they start trying to paint this story into me. And like, yo, that's it. I was like, no, trash. And they talk about, okay, because not only he was doing that, he go to college, right? He was in his apartment complex a few times. There was girls like at the, for example, the dining room or dining hall in college. He would grab their butts there or something like that. He would go like somewhere there, or he would go to like the pool, and this woman, he would like ask women, "Can I put suntan on you?" And like, "Oh no, thank you," and he just grab their butts. And so with me, they try to paint me like that. First of all, they were talking about me, like they wanted me to be a teacher, or talk about me, making me think about being a teacher. I would never want to be a teacher. Never. I never had the desire to be a teacher ever. Now, I'm not saying being a teacher is there's nothing wrong. It's not for me. I'm not like, I'm okay. It's not something. I respect teacher. Good for you. I will never want to be a teacher. But the reason why they're saying that, so they can make me create this persona like this man. And so in my brain, what's happening is they try to connect things together with this man who's this racist, misogynist, or whatever, hatred of women, and do things to kids, even as a teacher. And talk about, but you see, you too, when you were a kid, you did this thing to yourself. I did some dumb thing to myself that I never did again. That's what a child is capable of doing. This is the impulsiveness of a kid. This person was not an impulsive person. That's not impulsiveness. He was doing that through, he wrote poetry about raping and killing women, calling the revenge of a middle schooler. Then, as an adult, he became a teacher and did that to eighth grader kids. You understand? This trash are trying to come to react while these people actually do these horrible things they do to children. And then they talk about, when I was at the club, when I was 18, 22, in my young adult, I did some dumb things at the nightclubs. I'm not proud of it, but at the end of the day, I'm talking to people who are here frying women's genitals. Yes, I did some stupid thing. Looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking? Oh, not even, it was actually stupid. At the nightclub, grabbing, and I look at it, it's like, whew. This man literally at the dining hall grabbing. At the pool, can I get you some grabbing? Interesting. You see, you guys are the same. Like, you retard. Yes, I'm not perfect. I've done some dumb things in my life. When I'm in nightclub, whatever. But I'm not gonna let you live your fantasy. First of all, this man is crazy, and he's been crazy since he was a kid. And he literally was writing novels about what he wanted to do to women, which consisted of killing and seeing the dead body. He was talking about the revenge of a middle schooler. Then he'll go to, like, in the stories about, he'll go to his niece's parties and grab these kids. His parents will have to drag, like, this stupidity. And he's like, but you, when you're in middle school, you did this damn thing to yourself. One time, never happened again. Typical child impulsiveness. And yes, that's normal. Oh, sorry, let's just say that. It's not normal. This inappropriate act can happen with children impulsively and never happen again. Majority of this happens once and never happen again. But this guy kept having these issues over and over and over till his adulthood. Became a teacher, doing that as a teacher. And they wanted to combine these storylines in my brain. It's like, first of all, you guys are the threat to children. This trash is fucking trash. It was crazy. Like, that was talking about how he was going to kill women and rape them and do these things. And you try to paint me in this fashion. This act of a child was an act of a child that never happened again because it's a child mind. What you make me experience today as an adult, when I'm forced to see these babies in these ways, and you force me to have this perception of these babies in this sexual way, is the typical pedophilia things that you do. There's something, this something. Let me bring this. This is the something in my brain. It's funny, they try to make me feel nervous. This is the something that makes me have this experience.
someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction. Brains. And so this gets into what's called there are four different techniques. There are four different techniques and technologies that can pipe voices into an individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And they used it, I believe, in the Gulf War to tell the enemy at that time, lay down your guns, this is Allah. And it worked pretty well because hearing voices which have no direction or sound, you have to assume that it's some spiritual entity. So it works pretty well. And then, I don't know if I'm going to get into this, but there's something called hyper game theory. How do you, they want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so you can call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language throughout the world to define their probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works. So how do you control the brain? Most people won't.
Malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my
tactic of belief systems into human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, it's disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing.
And even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. The people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.
There is something. You can clearly hear. This is a pattern of consistently utilizing people utilizing this pedophilia type of torture, as she called it. And now this trash, like now we mapped it. Now you're manipulating my thoughts in these pedophilia ways. And you know I see as that. And matter of fact, they work for pedophiles. So they try to implant this man's persona into mine. It's like, no, but you see why he did this as a kid. So he wrote a freaking novel about how he's going to rape and torture and kill women. He became a teacher and started doing that to 8th grader. He was escorted out from his niece's birthday because he was doing things to his kids. You fucking retards. And you guys are renowned for pedophilia type of torture. And you try to utilize this moment of a child that was such an impulsive moment that never happened again, where you have to create false patterns now. You fucking retards. I will never let these people live their fantasy. And using this facade of feminism to make it seem like because if we're doing this, we're different. Oh, you hate women. No, I hate women or men who present themselves as a protector of men or women or children when they're involved in a program that tortures men, women, and children. And force people to think in these pedophilia ways, and they're like, "Now we're mapped. You retard. You're renowned to rewire the brain in this ways." And push people to lose their mind and cause them to do mass shootings. And I'm not talking about this crazy racist piece of shit that killed 2 women. I'm talking about Mary May, a man that has everything accomplished, and there's losers like you pushing people into insanity. Target individuals do not identify with this manipulation. They can make you become somebody you're not. You heard this trans woman putting thoughts of pedophilia, and for me, they try to use whatever. No, but remember what you did. I was like, yes, that's in a moment of a child. That's impossible. I know you know that very well, but you try to piece things together to make me accepting of this manipulation I'm experiencing today. Even making me try to compare me to this man who's insane. Who's out here talking about how he's going to kill women and rape them and do all these things. Talk about interracial is a mental illness. Do you understand how crazy these trash are? They have no shame. It's like, now you're an incel. You're not trash. You are low-life working for governmental entity that's pushing men and women into insanity and pushing them to kill themselves. Not actual fucking crazy people out here talk about how interracial is this mental illness or black people are this and talk about slavery. Trash. They have no shame. Target individuals stay strong.